If you are traveling from New York City to Charleston, North Carolina, you should come on the plane because that is less travel time. And you will have a good view when you're landing in Charleston. I would advise you to book a hotel near the airport, whichever is in your budget. If you can stay at Hilton, that would be great because they do offer a shuttle from the airport to the hotel. And that's included with their hotel. You can book that on their website or on any app that you're going to use to book. Or upon your arrival to the airport, you can call the hotel and someone will come and pick you up. And you can go in person and book, but make sure that they do have room available. There are tons of other hotels nearby that you can book for a cheap stay here. And then you can take a bus to go downtown. And that's where most attractions are. If you are only coming for 24 hours, this is what you can do. Leave right after breakfast at 8 a.m. and come back later in the evening, and then you can fly out. The hotel can keep your luggage for the day. You will only need to stay here one night if you're just visiting for a day. That should be enough, but if you are traveling and you really want to look into the town, walk around and talk to people, know the history, then you do need to spend a whole 2 days here. How you can do that, you can fly in as early as possible, land in Charleston, and go to the hotel that you're checking in for the night. You can ask them to keep your bag there and you can come back and check in later. Because some hotels do that, if they do keep your bags if you're staying overnight. I'm pretty sure you won't have any luggage. But even if you do, you can ask them and they will keep your luggage. So you have that whole day, and then the next day do the same thing. You check out and give them your luggage. They keep it with you, and then what you can do is book your flight out of Charleston really late, like 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. or 12 a.m. Late, so that way you have one night here and 2 whole days. That is enough time to move around. From Hilton or hotels near the airport. If you take a Lyft, it only costs $12 to go in the morning. So you can do that and come back on the bus. Or even if you'd want to do that, you will just have to download their bus app, which is CARTA, and that will give you their schedule. Or Google it and you will be good to go. Here are the places that I would suggest that you go where I have experienced or I have seen. It's mostly about history. There are a lot of art galleries, museums, and parks. The downtown area hotels are very expensive, so you shouldn't stay there. But if you have the luxury too, then you should do that if you're on a very tight budget, excluding the plane ticket because that depends on how fast you book and stuff. I think $300 gets you away with 2 days and 1 night because some hotels on weekdays are $115 with tax. And if you're willing to compromise on the quality of the hotel, it could be under $100, but again, I think $150 with tax and everything for a hotel is a very good deal. So stay at Hilton or Spring Suites by Marriott and then have fun. Charleston is a city soaked in history. Every corner has a story. There are museums, art galleries, and libraries that feel like they've been touched by time itself. Downtown is absolutely beautiful, charming streets, old architecture, and yes, they still have horse-drawn carriages. If you're into boats, they offer incredible harbor tour too. And of course, you can't leave without visiting the famous Rainbow Row, one of the most photographed streets in America. Some of the clips I'm posting today are just short highlights. Honestly, I was completely lost in the beauty of this old town, and my camera doesn't do it justice. You'll have to visit and experience it yourself. The air in Charleston feels so much cleaner and softer. The people are friendly, some homeowners even wave at you as you pass by. And if you're lucky, they might even invite you in for a cup of sweet Southern tea. And here's a fun fact. Did you know Charleston had its own Tea Party protest before Boston's famous one? Yes, history runs deep here. Charleston, South Carolina, a place where the past still whispers, and the charm stays with you long after you leave. On my trip to Charleston, I visited some of its most iconic spots, Rainbow Row, the Pineapple Fountain, Waterfront Park, and many beautiful historic churches. Charleston is full of color. Every building has its own charm. You'll see yellow churches, white churches, pastel homes, and centuries-old streets filled with history. I also visited the International African American Museum. one of the city's most important and emotional places. If you love history, this museum is a must-visit. It tells powerful stories and connects you deeply with Charleston's past. Right next to my visit through the markets, I explored the War Museum, located on the upper floor of the Charleston City Market. That's where I was talking about the places I had visited. It was fascinating to see artifacts and learn about the city's military history while being right above the busy market. Charleston isn't like New York, it's quieter and slower, but if you visit during fall or spring, the city feels incredibly welcoming and full of life. The most happening areas are Meeting Street and King Street. And trust me, once you step onto King Street, you immediately understand why it's called King. The boutiques, the architecture, the hotels, everything feels luxurious. Even the Target there feels fancy. I also explored a few art galleries. Charleston has plenty of them, each filled with local talent and unique styles. One of the highlights was the Charleston City Market. It's the biggest holiday market in the city, though I'm not sure if it stays open all year. When I entered from one side, some sweetgrass basket weavers told me not to take their photos, so I felt a little anxious, thinking maybe pictures weren't allowed. But then another vendor told me it was okay, just ask and be respectful. There is a famous cookie shop in the market where the lady gave me every single cookie flavor to try before buying. So be ready for a lot of tasting. There's also a spice shop where the smell hits you as soon as you walk in, and they offer samples everywhere. I wanted to visit the Charleston Public Library, but I went on a Sunday and it was closed. The building from the outside is beautiful, so I'm sure the inside is equally amazing. If you have extra time, especially if you're with someone, you can take a trip to the nearby islands. But I chose to stay in the downtown area for 2 full days so I could explore more and talk to people. For halal food lovers, there's a Pakistani restaurant called MemSaab, and that's where I ate, even if you don't eat halal. The place is still worth visiting because the food and the environment are wonderful. Charleston also has a few luxury hotels offering afternoon high tea, even if you're not staying there. Just make sure to check the timings before you go. That's it for today. I'll see you in the next one.